On yet another 80-degree day here in January in Woodland Hills, we welcome you to a new edition of Between the Horns presented by your Southern California Toyota dealers with Maurice Jones-Drew and DeMarco Farr. I'm JB Long, and in case you can't tell, we lift weights.
Yes, you had to bring up weather, didn't you?
I mean, what other way could we start the show? MJD was walking the beach yesterday.
Hey, man, what do you expect?
Yeah.
It's beautiful, and not a cloud in the sky either.
No, what could have been, but what is? You got to go to Chicago. It's going to be cold. I think we all know that. Going to be a fun game. How about this? Another exciting weekend for us. What a game in Carolina.
Right.
And I love that time of year. It's so funny. Everybody spends money on these big screen TVs. And what do right after the game is huddle around any screen we can get to catch the next game to make sure we're watching. I love this time of year. So much fun.
Yeah, I was going to say that the energy in Carolina was awesome. I think they invited anyone that played for the Panthers at any given time. Like
everybody.
My little cousin, who was an undrafted guy to Carolina, played for the Panthers for like 2 years. He was on the sidelines. Mm-hmm. They had Cam Newton to him. I mean, you decide Steve Smith, that Greg Olsen calls the game, Luke Kuechly, like what an atmosphere it was. And then I thought it kind of set you up going on the road again in this next in another hostile environment. But it was such a different energy from the first time we played Carolina to that one. And I think that kind of that was what you wanted to see.
You were definitely the opponent. They brought it.
Downtown stadiums for the win, am I right?
Oh,
yes, sir.
You were also right, Maurice. You were not fearful of Carolina, but that was not a matchup you wanted to see again. You sensed that they were just...
It's the double agent effect, JB. In the NFL, you have, coaches and players that play for certain teams, and a lot of times when that player is cut from the Rams and gets picked up by someone else, and if you look at Carolina's defensive roster, it was littered with Rams, coaches, players. And to me, when you practice and you play for a team for so long, you understand the nuances of that team. You understand what they want to do on certain situations, who they want to be, how they want to call it. And it showed up in that game. And so that was always a concern for me. And that's happened to me before in games where, we've played, we traded a guy and we played the team a week or two later. And then the guys on the sidelines tell them all our plays, and it's just like, you're a double agent, bro. You can't do that. But those things happen.
Coach Evero had a hell of a game plan. It was a great chess match. I thought Carolina threw a lot of things at him defensively, and they did a great job of sifting through and figuring stuff out. And once you got them worn down some, Stafford took over, and you were able to get the game. But, yeah, with you. When you play tough games like that, that's almost like – I don't know, back in old NFC West days when Carolina was in the division, that's how much it seemed like they knew you and vice versa. Drop into certain areas when certain guys are over there, just taking stuff away.
Knowing you're not supposed to be in that area.
But there you go because 12's over there. Right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Lo and behold, winning on the road in the playoffs is tough too.
Yeah.
I mean, we went first last weekend, but you found that out throughout Wild Card Weekend. And I understand the sentiment overall, like leaving Carolina because you were heavily favored, feeling like you should have put them away and had to get out of there, survive, and advance. But let's not forget, the Rams put up 34 points on the road, despite leaving some points on the field by failing on fourth down in the red zone, despite Matthew Stafford playing through a bum finger. I think he went 3 of 19 in the middle of that game while he sorted through that, dropping a touchdown going into the half. I mean, you still came away with 34.
Yeah, I thought, again, the Rams had a great game plan offensively. I thought when you jump out like that, too, to 14, you want to put them away. You want to try to put them away. And I thought Sean, you saw throughout Wild Card Weekend how aggressive people were on fourth down, but it's because you have to put teams away. When you get down there, you have to try to put them away if you're up. The Jacksonville Jaguars, another one that I looked to, they were up on the Bills, and Liam Cohen calls a read option, great play, quarterback slips, and knee goes down. But if he gets that first down, they go and score, that game is over with.
Ben Johnson had to explain himself at halftime on national TV for his fourth down decisions against the Packers.
Again, those are you have to try to put teams away in the playoffs, and it just backfired a ton in this situation. But like I said, that's a great experience for all the players on this roster to be able to go into that environment, overcome. Very similar to what I said with the Panthers, because the Panthers beat you. They weren't afraid of you the second time, right? And you had to go and prove to them that you're better than they are. That experience of them beating you helped them in that realm. I think the experience of the Rams going on the road and winning is going to help them here in the divisional round.
Well, you know how I see things. 34 points with this offense, with the weapons you have, Yeah, right. Normal. I don't care who you are, where you are, what happens. You should be able to score into the 30s if you don't turn the ball over, right?
Which they did.
The problem is, how much did you give up? That's the issue for me. So when you talk about putting games away, this is so interesting. Early on, I thought the Rams defense did a fantastic job of getting them to third down. They just couldn't get out. And when you have it, when you talk about putting it away, you have a lead and you get them to 2nd and 19 and they pick up a first down, that's a missed opportunity. That's a missed birdie opportunity. You got to put those plays away so you can win those games in the playoffs.
Totally, and we'll dive deep on the deficiencies the Rams have had defensively in this last month when we get into our head-to-head against the Bears. I will say, given the resources allocated to this defense, if you say that on Sunday night in Chicago, this defense can give you 3 extra possessions, a takeaway, and 2 turnovers on downs, the Rams should be playing next weekend. Yeah. I don't want to lower the bar of expectations, but when you're getting 3 additional possessions to your offense,
yeah, I'm with you.
With this roster, that should be enough.
That was the one in Carolina. It was the end of the first quarter, and you had them at third down, and he picked up the first down. So I don't think they scored on the drive, but he was allowed to salt away that last 3 minutes that should have gone to Stafford. And that's another thing. When it gets cold, if you leave them on the field, he's over there freezing. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
So the more times, the quicker you can get out, the better it is. But I'm right there with you. You just have to take advantage of those
The defense
ops.
needs to be better, but when
Big
you
time.
recover a muff punt in plus territory and you lose 7 points before the half,
Right.
I mean, your offense needs to bear some responsibility there.
I'll say this too. I thought their philosophy in Carolina wasn't as good for us. Reason being is they don't put 5 guys out in routes, right? They run 2 and 3 man routes, meaning they have 7 guys or they have 8 guys in protection. So that's going to eliminate your pass rush, right? That's going to force your pass rush not to get there. They're going to have extra guys blocking. The Rams didn't really send crazy blitzes or things like that. And so when you have a team that's patient, that'll run the football, will max protect in passing situations, all of a sudden that eliminates the one-on-ones that you're trying to get. And so, again, it just overall playing Carolina and their mindset and how they wanted to play football because they wanted to protect their quarterback, right? Didn't bode. I didn't feel that it was a good matchup. This week is completely different. This week is going to be completely different because again, the Bears like to get 5 guys out in the route. They want more option for their quarterback. So I think that's going to bode well. We're going to dive into it, but again, like I said, Carolina was just the double agents on defense. I didn't like, and I didn't like the way their offense was built up and how they did things. Right? Because when you have a team that max protects, I don't care who your pass rushers are. We'll go ahead and we'll figure it out.
They tried. They really did try to go 5 wide until Josiah Stewart showed up and kaboom, and the D-line went bonkers. That is almost the trifecta, by the way. Let me shout that out. When you run over a dude, put him out, get a holding call, and you get a sack on the same play. All he didn't do was get the sack, but that right there sparked everything and changed their protection package because the ends came alive after that.
I think Josiah Stewart's a big piece.
He's going to be a star.
Are going to play 3 more games and win 3 more games. I think he's a big piece.
That body type for that position and how he plays, think James Harrison. Yeah, a little more explosive. Yeah.
Before we talk Soldier Field and the Chicago Bears, can we frame the weekend? Because here we are in the divisional round for the 2nd January in a row. I know the 49ers fans are furious that they're playing on Saturday and the Rams are playing on Sunday. But just like when we flew to Philadelphia and we all got into the hotel and we turned the TV on and we watched the Washington Commanders go upset the 1 seed in Detroit and we slept on the pillows knowing that the Rams had a chance to host the NFC Championship game, potential for a similar setup this weekend. The Rams will land, they'll check into the hotel, we'll watch our NFC West rivals go head-to-head, and that means Sunday at Soldier Field, 2 things are possible. Either you're playing for the right to go avenge that dramatic, historic loss in Seattle in overtime, or you get to host another NFC Championship game against the San Francisco 49ers at SoFi.
Can I tell you that I don't like that? I don't like playing second. I loved us being the first game. I love being on the plane like this, just chilling, watching what's going on, watching everyone else have to, get prepared to get ready. We had already played our game. It reminds me of youth football when you're 9 years old and you play at 9 o'clock in the morning. Then you get to sit and watch the older kids play. Oh, yeah. Right? The older kids' anxiety gets going because they're like, oh, it's getting closer and closer and closer. But because the Rams did it last year, I think this is a different team than last year and more experience. For me, it is uneasy. I'd rather be first.
What about the echoes of 21 when the Niners went to Lambeau and beat the Packers on Saturday night when we were in Tampa Bay, and you knew that you were playing for the right to come home
Yeah.
and host the NFC Championship
I'm
game?
thinking hot wings. I was having hot wings watching that game, and it was very spicy, and I don't remember. Maybe I have to have hot wings again. I don't mind. I mean, I'm with you on that when you're watching it, and human nature kicks in, and it does affect your mood. Everybody's human, unless it's going your way. And it can motivate you. If the team that you need to win is winning and winning big, and you know that all we have to do is take care of business, it can spur you on some. But I'm with you. I'd rather go first and have you watch me. But sometimes, if it's going your way, it can help you.
I just think an all NFC West, NFC Championship game is the way this is meant to end.
No
right?
question.
I mean, the Seahawks, Niners, and Rams collectively, 40 wins, only 7 losses when they don't play each other. It's been the best division in football. The Seahawks just edged the Rams to win it, and this is the LA penance for having lost with a couple of blocked field goals in Philadelphia, for having lost against the Niners with the fumble in the red zone, for having coughed up a 2-possession lead in Seattle. Your penalty is you now have to go play in sub-freezing at Soldier Field, and you got the opportunity to redeem all that and still make it right.
Hollywood can't come up with a better script. I mean, it is what it is, and here you are. And like you said, if you get through this on Sunday in Chicago, and this is going to be a barn burner. Going back to one of your points about getting the ball back from Chicago, easier said than done with Caleb Williams. That dude keeps every play alive. That 4th and 8 play he made at the end in the fourth quarter, that was every bit as good as Saquon Barkley hurdling a guy going backwards.
No question.
That ridiculous play, right? That's the stuff. When you think you got him, you don't got him. And that's what I mean by going beyond practice. Because in practice, you tag off and you're running back to the huddle for the next play. Well, that goes beyond, and you have to play all the way through, and he picks it up. So, yeah, I mean, this is going to test you, but it couldn't have come down to a better spot if you think about it.
My only thing in this too, like as much as I say I want to be the first game played, I do love being the last one though. I do love like all eyes on you, and you going out there and performing. Because as a competitor,
All eyes
you
are
want to
on
put your everyone's going to watch, and you can make a statement in this game. And granted, this is for Chicago too. They probably feel the same way. Like, oh yeah. All eyes on us. We're going to go out here.
Let's talk about that. The Bears are fun. Let's just say that right
yeah.
now. I mean, Caleb's got ties to this city. There's a lot of USC fans in our audience, too. For all the drama through the offseason, his year 1 to year 2 transition, they've been great. He and Ben Johnson are a fantastic pairing. I think the NFL's better when Chicago's in the mix. Like, I love that sports city. Soldier Field is cool. They're great at home. But they're coming off an emotional high. Like, you've probably seen this sentiment, too. I got a lot of Bears fans in my life. Last week was their Super Bowl in a way.
Oh, my gosh.
First playoff win in 15 years. You take down a rival again. You kind of exercise some demons against the Green Bay Packers. I think there's an emotional challenge for them to not be satisfied with what is a successful season, right?
It's funny you say that because I was reading through some stuff, and Case Keenum's on that roster.
Right.
And Case Keenum spoke about the Minneapolis Miracle and how they won, and they couldn't get over that hump.
And then the next week.
And the next week they got their doors blown off, right? And so it's funny that happened because I didn't think it was that big of a deal that they beat the Packers, because I thought the Packers had that game. They lost the game more than the Bears won it. But that is important because the rivalry between the Green Bay Packers and the head coaches and all the little stuff that's going on in the media, that was a huge win. That was a huge win for a first-year head coach to beat a team that's pretty much handled the Bears for years in the playoffs and in that fashion, right? Coming back down how many ever in the fourth quarter. So I think it is. And they're going to – how can you – are you an old enough team or experienced enough team to be able to put that to the side, right?
7 wins from down at the 2-minute warning this season.
That's crazy.
So your luck is either about to run out or you really are a team of destiny, and we're about to find out Sunday night in Chicago.
Yeah, it's going to be a collision course. I would say this. You're going to be high, and you're going to be fun, and it's great, and the Ben Johnson hire is a success. It's a win because you got the playoff victory, and Caleb Williams got to exercise some demons. He can win in the postseason. I do have some cheesehead friends, very few, but I do. But he sent them into a gulag of an offseason. What a way to lose. You should be moving on. and they're not. So give Chicago credit. So even if they're high, and it's like you said, everything about the euphoria, and it's legit. But once Ben Johnson sits his team in that room and turns on that tape, Rams versus Carolina, he's going to say, we can win here, we can win here. Look at what they're doing.
Yeah.
It ain't over just because we beat the Packers. We can beat this team too. So they're going to be jacked. It was great, but I don't think they're going to have a letdown.
No.
If anything, I think they're going to bring a better game than what we saw versus Green Bay because
Entirely
they think this
possible.
is entirely winnable.
Was 2018 at Soldier Field the coldest you've ever been in your life?
Had to be.
We had a colder place.
Both times in my life where I've been cold as a player and as a broadcaster were both in Chicago.
Really?
Yeah, super cold. The first time as a player, it was -8 degrees, and they announced it, and the place went nuts, and they were taking their clothes off.
Yeah.
I didn't get that. That was shocking to me. And then that 2018 game where you saw me on the bus after the game.
I remember getting on the bus and he was half asleep and half defrosted.
My body just went to bed.
Was it? But I thought the one we played in Green Bay a couple years ago that was crazy too.
That was cold, but this
was different.
Please end this game.
I told JB this story before you got here, and I think it's a funny one. 2008, we go to Chicago and Jacksonville. Mind you, Florida is 90 degrees all the time. This is like mid-November. So we go up, and every time we go to places, I watch the news. And so on the news, they were like, hey, like if your dog weighs under 60 pounds, don't put him outside. And I was like, oh, snap. Like,
And we're going out.
Hey, hold on. I was like, doot. Hello. Hey, Jack. Jack Del Rio. I was like, hey, are we going to be able to play tomorrow? He was like, what do you mean? I was like, well, they're talking about dogs can't be outside. And like, this is crazy. And he was like, the only time we don't play is lightning. And hung up on me. Needless to say, it was cold. It was freezing that day. And that's probably one of the coldest I've ever been.
Yeah.
And it was like a beautiful day. So it's not going to be
expecting
fun.
the worst. I mean, it's just, I don't know about you, but the worst thing about the cold when you're playing is just your hands. Everything else you can keep warm, so to speak, even your neck. Everything's harder. The ground's harder. Every hit seems like it's more impactful, but your hands just get so cold that you can't use them.
Yeah. You listen to social media, maybe we just shouldn't go. It's just not worth our time. This game's already been decided. But I love the way this place is handling it. Not just saying the right thing. Everybody's saying the right thing, but you look in the eyes of Sean McVay, Matthew Stafford, Devontae Adams, they do not care. They do not mind at all.
They've been through it before.
Yeah, and Sean's been joking about it. Like, I think that's the part of a head coach that's, we get it. We understand it. What are we going to do? Like, we can't control it.
The other thing he's joking about is the LaFleur family text thread. How much would you pay to just take a glimpse inside of that?
Wow. Please. Wow.
That group chat is jumping.
You want to go Rams offense or Rams defense first?
Of course, I'm going to say defense. We can go offense, though.
No. Let's go defense.
Let's start on the O because, I thought the O-line did a great job because I thought they threw a lot at the Rams. I thought the Rams did a great job of adjusting to movement, adjusting to blitzes that were hurting. I thought Carolina did a great job on the edges in the run game, but as the more they stayed out there, the more they chipped away. I thought they ran the ball better in the fourth, and then once Matthew Stafford got some feeling back in his hand, he could not miss, and that was huge. I thought the best drives of the game were the from behind drives. You know what I mean?
I like the first two, but
the first two, but the from behind drives when you gotta have it, where you gotta throw it, and there's no pressure on the guy. He's just standing back, pitching and catching. So I thought that was just great offense. So it's going to ramp up, like you said, versus Chicago. They're going to have a plan for you, but I thought the offense was spectacular.
Yeah, I thought the Rams in the wild card. Now, I'll kind of get it to Chicago here in a second, but I thought the first couple drives, those were scripted drives, right? Sean knew exactly what he wanted. He had his first 12. Like, you're coming out and stuff. You get in the red zone, you move right down the field. But what was more impressive was the non-scripted stuff. Right, when you got to have it, and you're still able to go down the field and put up points. In the catch by Kobe Parkinson, again, a guy that had the dropsies for the last couple of weeks, comes up big in that moment. What a catch there, and then keep his feet in bounds. When we go to Chicago, I think the Rams, there's success there to be had, but you have to. And again, the Rams offensive line has done a great job. You have to stop those edge rushers. Those edge rushers will cause havoc. They try to stop the run. They're going to be physical, and so to me, but they have. And I would say the biggest difference is the Rams are starting to get healthy, and guys are getting weeks under their belts again. Where Chicago linebacker just got hurt, linemen are getting hurt, guys are getting banged up. So you have advantage there with them playing some guys that haven't been used to playing.
So you're talking about Montez Sweat, who got the Rams in Week 4 last year. Austin Booker on the other edge.
Yep.
This is not a good defense. But they may have just played their best half of football in the second half against the Green Bay Packers. So there's reason for optimism. And my goodness, are they opportunistic. Oh. The one thing they do well, takeaways and particularly interceptions, last week against Green Bay was the first time the 2025 Bears won a game without a takeaway.
Wow.
It was the first time they won a game without winning the turnover, not just neutral, without winning the turnover margin.
Wow. Well, like I said, you Edwards is out.
Yep.
Right. So that'll help in the run games.
And they weren't great at linebacker to begin with.
Again, their safeties are really good. I think Johnson, their corner, is really good. But my question is this: do you want to tackle a 215, 20-pound Puka Nacua in the cold? That's what it comes down to. I think that's been the Rams' superpower all year. Are your corners willing to tackle 220 pounds Puka Nacua? Mm-hmm. Right? If they're not willing to tackle, you're gonna get 15, 20 opportunities to Puka Nacua. And then on the other side,
well, hold on real quick. Let me jump in there. Who's going to play in the slot? Because you got Johnson and Wright out wide.
Yep.
I don't know that they can hang in man-to-man matchups with the Rams' top two receivers. But at nickel, is it C.J. Gardner-Johnson? Is it Kyler Gordon? Is it Nick McLeod? They have some options there.
Yes.
But I'm not sure those are their preferred options, their preferred way to play. Yeah. And so what I don't want is the Rams to be paralyzed by all of their options, because I think there's a lot of ways for the Rams to win this game offensively. One in particular I'll get to, but I'll pass it back to you. Chicago hasn't contended with a lot of 13, not in the doses that the Rams can dole out. You can win that way.
Yeah.
Or what we saw in Carolina is no matter how good your corners are, we feel like we're better, and we're gonna dance with who brought us, and that's our MVP, Matthew Stafford.
Yeah, no, I think that's been the beautiful part about the Rams. They could beat you in so many different ways. I think you mix it up. I think there's going to be times when you're going to see 13 personnel with Puka out there. You're going to see times 13 personnel with Devontae out there. You're going to see
Ferguson
12.
going to be up?
Yep.
Another added wrinkle.
Right.
Yeah.
So they're like, again, when I talk about getting healthy, that's what I mean. Like all of a sudden, all these weapons, and it's this question was brought up in one of my group chats. I have a group chat with a bunch of Niner fans and all this and that, and they always talk about their injuries. But I was like, the Rams have dealt with some critical injuries at critical points at the time of the year, not having Quentin Lake, K-Dot going down, Devontae going down, and yet they're still able to make plays because other guys have stepped up and made, they've taken the most of their opportunities and those reps. All that does is help your offense get better, because if Devontae doesn't go down, T. Ferg's not playing. He's not doing all the receiver stuff that he did in Atlanta and all the other stuff. So that becomes a different animal for you that you've figured out, and so you've unlocked. And so to me, I think there's going to be so many different ways the Rams can go after it. But the most important thing is to me is K-Dot, and it's controlling the line of scrimmage. So anytime it's cold, I firmly believe this. You have to beat up the other side. Like DeBarco said, the longer we can keep you on the field, the longer your offense is off the field.
I do think there's an element of you got to protect your defense in this game. The question is, how do you do it? K-Dot coming back, maybe he does solve for some of that short yardage run deficiency that you've been dealing with lately. Or maybe it's just, hey, that hasn't been our strength. We're going to lean into our strength, and that is Matthew Stafford, even in tough conditions, throwing to our best weapons.
Speaking of that, Devontae Adams, I take back everything I said after that wide receiver thing on Netflix. Remember that whole thing? Everything. That dude he's tough, he's good, he's a great player, period. That shot by Nick Scott should have ended you at least for the day. And he went to the tent, came back out, and kept playing. I thought that was tremendous. And I think Chicago could set up to be a game for him as a possession type, running the ball through the air. Because I do think they're going to try to match up personnel-wise and send as many people as possible in these exotic little twists.
I was going to ask you,
at Stafford.
You think Dennis Allen is going to throw the kitchen sink at Matthew Stafford?
Absolutely.
He can't win with 4?
So, I mean, not to question play calling or Sean McVay or anybody, but the going vertical on third down, not going for the sticks.
Yep.
But that is the coverage you want. And when you look and stop the tape, that's one-on-one with Devontae, one-on-one with Puka. That's what you want. That's what you're designing for. So I see a lot of that on 1st and 10. because I think they're going to come after you because they have to generate some sort of pass
Which they
rush.
did in the second half against Green Bay.
Right. So Devontae, that's got to be 100%, and Puka Nacua, just keep doing what you're doing. I'm with you. Either they hand it to him or throw it to him short. At some point, you're going to make that business decision. Like, I'm tired of hitting this dude when it's cold outside, and he slips in for a touchdown or picks up a first down. But I think Devontae on 1st and 10 is going to be huge, especially in the first half.
And let me say this too, Devontae. I thought Devontae was going to have a big game, and I thought he had some opportunities to do that. But the speed of the game, you got to get back used to it, right? You've been out 3 weeks, almost a month, so it's like you got to get back in the flow of the game. To do that in the wild card and stuff, he had that one drop where it kind of got on him pretty quickly. But to me, it's like, okay, I remember when I got hurt, and it was like it took me like a week to get back into like, okay, all right, I get it now. Like I see the way that things are going to start to slow down. I think for him, that's going to happen this week.
Can I call back to another Rams memory that this time of year is always on my mind? It is.
Okay.
Do you remember the divisional round in 2018 at the Coliseum against the Dallas Cowboys?
Yes.
Oh yes.
Yes.
They came out with Gurley and CJ and handed it off near 50 times, rushed for almost 300 yards, put 3 in the box, and it just had this demeanor, this disposition that you don't belong on the same field as us. We know our challenge is going on the road to New Orleans. That's our roadblock. You're not. Get out of here. I've been pining for that ever since. And I don't know if this is that week, but I think that option is on the table. Because if the Bears or Mother Nature kind of take the explosive passing game away or tamp it down, I know that the Rams can run roughshod against the Chicago Bears. For all the talk about Chicago's running game, and it is dangerous.
Swift is good, yeah.
And it has the potential to bounce the Rams. LA was historically efficient and productive running the football this year because of their passing game, because of the threat of their passing game. But I would not mind one bit if Matthews' MVP dream season would just put aside for 1 second.
Just win the game.
Just go handle this business and get to the challenge, which we know might be Seattle on that road test.
How did you run when the ground was frozen?
Oh, bro, best games. I was trying to get up out of there.
That's what I thought. Well,
Trying to get up out of there. DeMarco.
besides the fact that you hate the cold.
No,
how was
I'm
your
just talking
footing?
about because I know. See, the beautiful part about playing in the cold or in the snow or the elements, I know where I'm going. You don't. You have to adjust. You have to. If I make a move or a cut, or if I'm Kyron and I jump cut, I'm on balance. You don't know where I'm going, and so that to me is where.
Why I asked you is every time I played on frozen turf, I hated it because number one, I couldn't get my cleats in the ground to dig in, so I can't even get off. So I'm flat-footed out there. So instead of attacking, I'm catching. You know what I mean? So that's the running game gets going. I'm with you. I hope that happens. I hope you can get Blake Corum and Kyron going.
And it doesn't have to be ground and pound. Like, the touchdown screen to Puka, that's a running play.
Oh, yeah.
Jet sweeps, running play. Screen game to your tight end, running play. I would say keeper game, quick to the flat. Those are all extensions of your running game. And I feel like you can not only have a lot of success against the Chicago Bears, but also stay on the field, keep the chains churning, and like I said, protect your defense a little bit.
I'm going to make a prediction. Davis Allen's going to get somebody this week. When's the last time we said his name?
Like decleating somebody,
No,
or
I just
with
saw
the
one
football
of
in
those
his
little
hands?
quick screens, like you said, a little half roll to the hammer. The other one, you know what I mean? And he just turns up and runs somebody over the hell with the goal line. I'm just going for your helmet. That type of stuff.
I
Watch, he's
love
going to get one.
His mindset has changed so much from 2 years ago to this year. It's been crazy. Like, he is the physical presence in that tight ends room. He's the one.
What was the Higbee bite about Davis Allen?
What?
Something you called him. He looks like an accountant or something like.
Oh, well, I can't say it on this. Christian Bale played the character in a movie.
Oh, yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He likes Huey Lewis. There.
Yeah. But I think, again, we haven't talked Tyler Higbee coming back. His physicality in the run game and catching the ball and doing those things are important. And then to me, it is, again, I think the Rams are just getting healthier and healthier. And that is, we haven't seen that in I don't know how long, this whole team together at once.
I don't think they held anything back offensively last week, but I do think there's large swaths of their game plan or who they've been identity-wise on offense that they did not deploy last week that play really well against the Chicago
planning to
Bears.
win to show you the next week. Yes, I'm right there with
Like,
you.
I don't think they said, let's not do this so that we can use it next week. That's not what I'm saying.
Right. But just building. I got
But
you.
what they tried to do against the Carolina Panthers, I don't think necessarily is what this Sunday looks like.
But that going back to Arizona to end the regular season when you got in the dogfight and you had to unleash that Puka end around. right? And then in Carolina,
That's the break glass play.
Right, that's what I'm saying. So, yeah, there's stuff that they haven't run that they could run and you had success with that they'll come back and
They
counter.
didn't even move Matthew's spot a whole lot
A
against
little
Carolina.
bit, not much. You didn't need to. You did pretty good. I think he only took one big shot, and that was on when they missed a blitz pickup. But, yeah, for the most part, he was well protected.
Anything else, Rams offense against Bears defense before we flip sides?
Did I mention Josiah Stewart knocked another tackle out? I think that might be 4. This is crazy. I don't know where this power is coming from. I know that's defense.
Well, let's go there because just like the Bears are down a key linebacker, they're going to be down a left tackle this week, and I think that's a good place to start. Why not talk about the trenches first? Can you contain Caleb Williams, and can you really exploit that left tackle, whether it's Braxton Jones or whoever ends up being the film?
I think so. I love the competition among the D-line, and you can tell because Fisk makes a sack, 2 plays later, Poona Ford makes a sack. Josiah Stewart gets it started, and then Byron Young, who has grown up because the Carolina quarterback, help me real quick. Bryce Young tried to get outside a few times on that run pass option, and he did a spectacular job of choking it down and forcing him at least to the sideline or not letting him attack.
I thought that was great. We all loved that play in the third quarter where he was matched up one-on-one out of the numbers with the quarterback, and instead of shooting his shot and trying to get this, he played it for the incompletion.
Played it like the Predator. Yeah.
And it worked out great, and I think that plays this weekend too against Caleb.
A year ago, definitely 2 years ago, he's up past, and that guy runs for a first down, so he's grown. And I'm glad that's starting to meld because you got the ultimate guy coming up. So even if he boots left, he may finish on the opposite hash. It's never dead with him. So you're going to have to keep that containment.
Yeah, this is going to – the matchup I want to see is whoever's on Jonah Jackson.
He's been playing pretty good.
Yeah, he's been playing really good.
He and Ben Johnson go together, don't they?
Remember, like, the Rams brought him here for that. He got banged up. You guys have practiced against each other. Whoever wins that matchup, I think is going to give the other opposing team the advantage. And the reason being is this. When you practice against somebody, you know this. I know your tendencies. I know your moves. I know what you like to do. I've studied you in practice, right?
I know what you look like when you're scared.
Yeah, I know all these different things. And so it works both ways for the Rams and the Bears, especially in that specific matchup, because if you can get pressure on Caleb Williams up the middle, he's not as crazy as when guys are crashing on the outside because he'll step up and spin. Up the middle, he tries to like reverse spin out, and normally you should have a guy there very similar to what the Rams did against the Panthers. But winning that matchup in both the running game and the passing game is going to be huge because, again, if you watch the Bears, they don't really like to run, and I have a personal relationship with the running back coach, so I know how he thinks and what he wants to do. They want to run in the B gaps. They don't want to run outside. They'll start left, and then they'll try to get to the right B gap. They'll start right. They'll try to. They want to run in between, like off tackle, kind of in a way. And so, if you can win, if those D tackles can win those B gaps and force those guys to bounce and let everything get to them or collapse them inside, I think the Rams are going to be very successful. But the B gaps are the game.
I saw the Packers sending their linebackers. Was that to take away what you're talking about? Because they did a good job limiting Swift and
number 7 for the Packers. He shot the B gap every play. It seemed like he was just. They tried to do some weird like sprint and draw, and he just ran in there and took everybody out.
I like Green Dog. I mean, I would bet the Rams do it. If it's pass, keep going to the quarterback. If he peels off, you got him. You know what I mean? But it just puts pressure on the offense, and it forces them to have to count you in, for pass blocking. So every now and then you can catch him slipping. But yeah, I'm with you. Swift is he's aptly named.
Oh, yeah.
Swift is a great name for a guy that runs just like that. Another dude that could start over here and finish way over there and score with the ball.
Former Stafford teammate, if I'm not mistaken. Let's save Caleb for last. Do you want to talk Rams secondary? You want to talk Colston Loveland, their tight end
Well,
package?
I want to talk tackling in the open field.
Okay.
Right? You talked about Swift. Let's go back to week 4 last year. He broke a long run, started on the right, broke left, went up the middle, missed a couple tackles in that one. DJ Moore is another guy that's built like a running back that you have to tackle in space. I think Luther Burden is a very elusive guy. Right, that you have to tackle.
Tons of yak.
Yeah, those you have to eliminate what they do best.
What did you just say?
Yards after catch.
Tons of yak. I thought that was a last name. I'm so sorry. Go ahead.
He is a
Tons of yak.
Ben Johnson beneficiary.
Oh my God!
His hands.
He is Amon-Ra St. Brown for the Chicago Bears. They'll throw a 3-yard route. He'll stop, cut back, get back. Like, it's insane what he can do.
You know what you said about Devontae Adams? Is there an element of that with Quentin Lake?
Meaning?
Knocking one game of rust off after a long absence.
Oh, yes. I thought, that interception that he tipped, that Kobe Durant should be like he should have a Rolex in his locker right now because of that. I think that's an interception.
Yes.
If Quinn Lake had played the week before, I think his eyes are where they need to be. And so I do believe that whoever's in the B gap and then in the passing game, Quinn Lake is going to have a huge day again.
There's just shallows, crossers, open, even on the game-winning play. That's a drop.
Yeah.
It was open. No Keller Witherspoon the rest of the way. So you're looking at Forbes and Durant on the outside, maybe some D. Will, who's been a healthy scratch. McCreary's been getting more. Any thoughts there?
Look, it is what it is. You're going to have to put max pressure on this quarterback and every other quarterback you face. This is leaving Arizona, and what was said on the field, exactly what happened here is exactly what we're going to see from here on out. They're coming after those corners. They're coming after the Rams in coverage. If you don't get there, there could be problems. If the quarterback breaks contain, there could be problems. So it is what it is. I'm with you on the tackling. I staying with your guy, making sure you keep him in front. Even if he catches it, drop him right there. Live to fight another down. The one thing you can't do is give up the big play. So I think everyone understands the assignment this week and who and what the Rams are on defense.
11 explosive passing plays in Chicago's second half comeback last week against the Green Bay
I will tell you
Packers.
this is going to sound crazy, but I would rather Caleb beat me from the pocket than to break outside of it. I think containing him and making sure he doesn't get outside the pocket is going to be very important, and I think the reason being is these dudes, whatever reason, they know how to get into their scramble drill, and they find holes in the defense. And he's crazy enough to throw some of these throws, like the one he threw to DJ Moore in the back of the end zone. I forget who they were playing. He's almost out of bounds, and he just fires it back into the end zone, and DJ Moore catches it. So you just have to know that he's, I don't want to say reckless, but he will throw. He's a gunslinger. Like, he'll throw the ball regardless.
He's stretching the bounds of this game.
Edge of the envelope.
I mean, profiling him, he doesn't complete a high percentage to either team. What I mean is he's got a bunch of open targets and a very low completion percentage. But he also doesn't throw picks. He hangs on to the football forever.
Way too long.
Too long, but that's some of their best magic, too, I would say.
Yeah. Yes.
And yet he's halved his sack rate. So there's just this beautiful paradox at quarterback with this second-year Heisman Trophy winning quarterback.
So I would say this. I'm with you. I'd rather him beat me from the pocket. And if he does break contain, it can't be on his terms. If I flush him out, that's one thing. If I got him running for his life with a guy in hot pursuit, great. He may throw it to you. But it can't be on his terms where he finds the dead spot and then picks up another 2 to 3 seconds for those good and one receivers he has to find the open spot, because that's how they live.
Yeah, he's hard to find on schedule because they move his spot so effectively with the keeper game, with the half rolls, and then he's very elusive once he starts playing his own game like he's always been.
On third down, you just know that if it's 3rd and 8, he's looking to scramble first. He'll get back there, he'll set up, but you can tell by how quickly he decides to take off and find holes in the pocket to get out. Defensively, I look, Cam Curl, Kitchens, whoever's covering Loveland is going to have a day.
Loveland's interesting. They got some raised eyebrows when they took him at 10
over Ty Warren, yeah.
but he's proved them right. But the Rams have I will say this: the Rams have defended tight ends very well this season on a raw basis, on a per target basis, and that's while playing in the NFC West, which has the best tight ends walking the planet. So what do you count?
I'm counting McBride. Who else? Kittle. Who else?
Barner's pretty good.
Yeah. You've done a really good job keeping containment
Goddard
on those guys. Goddard is a problem.
Well, you played Warren, too. The Rams' schedule was tight end laden, is my point.
Right.
Your prowess against tight ends, I think, is more proven than your ability to shut down outside receivers.
Yes.
Is my point.
You're getting good practice against some good tight ends, so game day should be easier.
Real talk,
Yeah.
okay? Since Week 12, it's been a pedestrian defense. This last month, especially if you take out the Arizona wins, and Arizona is not a good offense. They're a one-dimensional, not a good offense. If defense wins championships, has this defense been championship worthy? Probably not. What makes you believe that they can recapture some of their form from the front end of the season when they were the best scoring defense in the league? I'm not saying they need to get all the way back there, but how do they put 3 good game plans and executions together so that this team can be championship worthy?
To me, I think it's going to come down to how many times they take the ball away. You're going to have to create some turnovers, period. The longer the offense stays out there, the longer they have opportunities to pick on you. Because, pass rushes, they don't always get there. How many passes do you think a defense faces in a season, right? And you put a guy in the Pro Bowl that gets 12 sacks, so it's frequent. You don't get there a lot. So I think you're going to have to take the ball away and limit possessions and hope that Matthew Stafford and the offense pile on the points to make it one-dimensional.
I'm counting,
and then it feeds into what
I'm
you do
counting
best.
fourth down stops because they got them last week.
Yeah.
And when you look at Caleb, I think he threw 2 picks last week on fourth down. Packers lost yardage on those interceptions, right? Like if those are incompletions, it's better for them.
Yeah, selfish.
So this team is going to, just like Carolina, is going to go for a lot of fourth downs.
Yeah.
You got to bow up and you got to get footballs back on fourth down.
Yeah, I think in this situation, your best defense is going to be your offense, and it's going to be your offense putting pressure on the other offense to have to go for fourth downs, and your defense bowing up in those situations. When you look at the landscape of the playoffs, it's very rarely. There's only I think 1 or 2 teams that you're saying their defense is what leads the team. I want to say that's Denver,
Seattle.
or 3. Or 4 now. So Seattle, Denver, Houston, and then I say New England.
Yeah, okay.
New England.
They got an MVP candidate.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
But their defense is what won that game against the Chargers, right? And so, but the other side is all offense. Like your offense, if you're the Niners, the offense has to put up points, and you have to do certain things. I think with the Rams, you're better suited than all these teams. I think you're a more complete team, but you're offensive led team. You have to score points. It can't be 3-6. If it's a 3-6 ball game or a 3-3 ball game going into halftime, that's not going to be that doesn't build for what you need to happen, right? And it needs to be you have to be in the 20s or 17 at half and forcing those guys to say, we have to score points. And when you have to score points, now you're going to take more chances. Pass rush gets there, more guys get out, and you get a chance to get to the quarterback.
Put him in position to have to force all the chips. And real quick, did he say selfish on a takeaway? This
on
guy
fourth
over
down,
here, Mr. Scoop
for
and
sure.
Score. Yes, now you want people to drop picks?
No, I don't want
stuff
to.
down like a
I
Hail
don't,
Mary.
I don't want people to. I'm just saying that
Come on.
that is a very selfish thing to do, and I love it. Go get your money, but understand. You said you lost yards in this game. You're getting to pick 40 yards
got the
downfield on
ball.
4th and
Come
1. It's
on.
like, what are we
Yes.
doing?
If you are privileged enough to earn a multi-possession advantage in Chicago, and I think that's what you're saying, right? Get the game script to that portion where your defense can start to exercise, can flex a little bit. That's where the game starts against the Chicago Bears, because no 2-score lead has been safe for these Los Angeles Rams, and Chicago has done things that, my goodness, you would not believe when they've been down double digits, and especially late. And so let's just put it down on record here on this show. I think the Rams will have a good lead on Sunday night, and that's where the game begins. Can you protect it? Can you salt it away?
If you look at Carolina, it was you had a great lead against Carolina, and you were doing some really good things, and then they score, and now it's 14-7, and it's like, okay, and then it kind of goes back and forth, and then you start to move a little bit, and all of a sudden it's 17-7, and then you fell on a 4th down. They go, so like you have to go put up points,
Yeah.
right? And it's one of those situations. Like, but you have more money on the offensive side, more resources are allocated on the offensive side, and that's what you wanted this roster to be. It's not
Job well done.
You know what I mean? Like that's what you wanted, and then you allocated young pieces and resources to the
Job
defense.
well done there.
Yeah, and so you're saying I want the pressure. If I'm Sean, I want the pressure on me calling the plays. I like me.
Yeah.
I love me.
Right. I do too. I love how this offense is functioning. Like you said, all the money's over there. Great. It should be scoring, and scoring 34 points on the road does not shock me because that's how good you should be with the pieces you have. But then I think every team, no matter how it's constructed, has an identity. And we started the show saying my favorite drives were the ones where they were coming from behind. This is the deal. And Matthew Stafford and Devontae Adams, I'm glad they put that out there. Let's go snatch hearts. Love that. But the problem is you have to be in position to go snatch a heart. Can you snatch a heart with a 21-point lead? I hope so. Let's do that.
And you're playing some heart snatchers too.
Yes.
Chicago beat Green Bay twice in the last month. Never took a snap with the lead.
Yeah. Crazy. Absolutely nuts.
I mean, so that's right where they
Football's
want to
wide
be.
open.
No one wants to be in a trailing position, but
Yes,
you
they're
better
comfortable.
believe that they're going to believe if they do find themselves down in the fourth
Well,
quarter.
big picture speaking, when people ask why is the NFL so popular, it's because of that. It is. It is completely 100% unpredictable. It will break your heart, give you a heart attack, and make you smile all in the same 30 seconds.
I will say this, too. The reason why the Rams are in Chicago this weekend and not at SoFi Stadium is because of the kicking game. Brandon McManus missed 2 field goals and an extra point. The Packers left 7 points out there without those mistakes in the kicking game and without Santos hitting a 51-yarder. The Bears' comeback is not possible. So we probably should devote a portion of this show to the kicking game. And DeMarco is rubbing his eyes.
Listen, the
two,
kicking
two
game I'm fine
guys,
with.
two guys. So we talked about Puka. I think we said his name the most outside of Stafford, and then everyone else, all the stars on the team. You were missing Winnington and you were missing Dolak, right?
Yep.
Those are 2 stalwarts on your punt team, and one got blocked. I wish I could be mad at Tanner Engel. No. It's hard to. The guy gives you everything he's got, and look, you saw that. You called it out during the game. When they overload you and leave the gunner by himself, you know what I mean?
You have to practice that. And I'll
Exactly,
tell
right.
you this. It's what a scheme by Carolina.
Yeah.
They saw something. And they knew that the Rams were going to make a call where they're going to slide everyone over and they're going to put Isaiah Simmons, who I think we spoke about a little bit ago, about a guy that,
a linebacker on a safety.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, 6'4" on 5'9".
First round draft pick.
Yeah,
Right.
first round, right?
Yeah.
That's one-on-one. Like, even if you want him to block, like, there's certain times genetics comes into play. You can't. You're
But
asking him
follow
to do
through
things.
with your technique.
That's
You
what
can't leave that
that's where he
fast.
messed
Yeah.
up. He left too
Well,
quick.
it might have been for the best because instead of a full field drive that chews up a ton of clock, if you're going to fall behind, at least get
Yes.
it back in Stafford's hand with time. Devin Duvernay is a problem, though. He is a problem. Big return. 2 big returns against Green Bay to set them up for success. Feel good about Harrison Mevis in the
Yes.
cold
Yeah.
and that
Yes.
operation.
Yes,
He's
answering
from
questions.
Mizzou, ain't he? He
Yep.
goes down there, get cold over there.
With you, he's got to do it here, and he's doing it. Yes, yes.
I also want to talk about penalties because the Rams have been privileged to be the least penalized team in the league for several seasons under Sean McVay, including this one. I contrast the 2 games against Carolina. Thanksgiving weekend, there was only 1 penalty for 5 yards. It was the delay of game before the strip sack. Last week, 9 for 83. And the run of play acts of commission penalties don't bother me as much. Like, I'm not mad at the hit on the sideline.
No, that wasn't a
That's not a penalty. That should not have been a penalty.
For Nate
You
Landman.
talk about Nate Landman?
Yeah.
Oh, come on.
But the pre-snap stuff, these last couple of games has not looked like Rams football. And the after the whistle stuff, it needs to be eliminated too, because it would be a shame to cost yourself an opportunity to play for an NFC Championship or a Super Bowl because of a penalty flag.
Again, I think those are lessons that are going to be learned that were probably spoken about this week, right? If you're Desjuan Johnson, like, hey, look, we love your energy,
Love
we
your
you,
wild
love
man
you
attitude,
out
yes.
there driving guys into the ground. But once the whistle blows, it's a controlled aggression. You let it out between the whistle, then once it blows, you bring it back in. You have to do that. I think on some of the other stuff is just it's loud. You think you hear certain things. Like I only can remember playing in Washington in college and trying to read the lips of the quarterback who's screaming at the top of his lungs, and you hear nothing. You hear nothing. And that's how loud it was in Carolina. I can't say it was as loud as Washington, but it was loud enough where Stafford is getting this long, drawn-out play called to everybody. And you saw guys like, am I supposed to be here? Like, no, you're on the ball. Like, so that means everyone couldn't hear it. And that comes to the crowd noise. And that's part of playing on the road. So you got to be able to fix that and understand and have an eye. And the biggest thing is the quarterback has an idea what the play caller wants to call because of the down and distance, right? I remember a coach of mine in Jacksonville say everyone has to have that, right? You all have to understand what the play caller wants to call in these down and distance. So if we are in a situation where we can't hear the quarterback, but you can see and hear, like you can mimic some of the, like, okay, I know this play.
You're thinking in lockstep.
We're all in the same, and it just didn't seem like that in Carolina in some situations.
if a holding call you cannot understand. Like if you hook a guy, so be it. But lining up offsides as a receiver, that is a no. That is an absolute no. The ball's right there. I mean, you're expected to know what you're doing.
He was offsides by a lot.
A lot, a lot. You're on the Carolina. Never mind. Anyway, and the Devontae false start. Something that was wrong with his helmet. That was just a miscue. You probably won't see that again. I don't remember the other 6 penalties.
We don't need to go through them all.
I'm just thinking,
there was one pass interference in the back of the end zone, and there were acts of competition, which I'm not gonna.
Those are the ones, but just the ones that put you behind the chains, you can't have. The fixable stuff you can have. Playing football stuff, things happen, and sometimes you get penalized. But the stuff that you can control,
the ones that take no skill, that kind of stuff,
you got to know where to line up, and that stuff. Yeah.
Any final thoughts? Any soapbox moments or opportunities before we close this out?
Whoever the fan is that sits in front of us.
Oh my gosh!
You're getting it.
Are you gonna talk to him? Are you gonna bring it up?
I thought you were hiring private security this week.
No, man. Listen, DeMarco, you have no idea. There's a guy.
I got an earful down on the field.
There's a guy that's right in front of the booth, and for whatever reason, I don't know if it was me or if it was JB or whoever it was.
Yes, it was both.
He would turn around.
He paid a lot of money to put his back to the field the whole night.
Exactly. Barking.
The whole game? Oh, wow.
So to whoever you are, can't wait to see you.
But no, shout out to Carolina. They, like you said, you pulled out all the stops, and they tried to make it as rough on the Rams as possible. That was about as one-sided as it could get as far as being the opponent. But keeping your wits about you when all are losing theirs. That's what this team is about. No matter what the score was, no matter what happened, on that sideline, there was complete trust and confidence that whatever unit was on the field was going to take care of business, especially when you gave Matthew Stafford over 2 minutes to win the football game. Like Nate Landman said after the game, they were getting ready for 2 minutes. They knew he was going to score. They were talking about what they were going to do after that. So that is the mark of a great team. Like I said, this team is built to be great and to score a lot of points and to sack a lot of quarterbacks. And when that doesn't happen, it doesn't mean the game's over. This team shows a lot of teeth, a lot of fight, and regardless of points and stats, that's the stuff that matters to me in the postseason.
There was a real intangible quality to that postgame, which was we just want to be together for another week. That I admire about these Los Angeles Rams. Head coach, quarterback, star players, they don't want this journey to be over. They verbalize that. And I think that gut check in Carolina brought that to the surface, that they feel like they're in for something special and they're not going to be deterred. That's kind of my theme of the week is this group loves each other, wants to be working together at this facility next week.
It's funny because when you play enough football, you see the turnover. Right. And I think as a young player, you really don't understand it, that there's going to be a new group and you're going to have to relearn each other and do different things. And your best friend may not be here, or someone that you got really close with may things happen. And so to hear that really gave me goosebumps because it's like they understand how important each year is.
Right.
Right. Like they understand this team is special because it's this team. And all the stuff that they've been through with this team, from the back injuries to the different stuff that's gone on throughout the season. And so it's
and the stuff that we don't know.
And the stuff that the stuff that we don't know. And so to me, that's when you have that mindset and you go, and I've talked to my good, family friend TJ Ward, they talked about that Super Bowl 50 team. They weren't the best offensively, but they knew that they didn't want this ride to end because it was Peyton's last ride. And that's what everyone was all in. We were dug in because it was Peyton's last ride, right? And they had a common goal. To hear that, it reminds me of that.
Or let's get Aaron Donald one.
Yes.
Or let's put Tyler Higbee and Robert Woods on our T-shirt under our pads. Just those kind of sentiments. I feel like there are overtones of that. And it's not just the players that turn over, it's the coaches too. One thing that I just wanted to complain about or suggest that we fix is it just doesn't sit well with me that 3 key coaches on this staff have to conduct Zoom interviews in the middle of one of the most important professional weeks of their life. Why can't we arrange the NFL schedule such that the coaching cycle takes place outside of the most important part of the NFL season, the playoffs?
Because, man, the Giants just paid Jim Harbaugh $100 million to go up there. And
I get it, but we push free agency off into the spring, and we even have a 2-day legal tampering period. There's room in the calendar. Teams can wait another week or month if necessary.
They can. I just think that's going to be something the competition committee is going to go over. But this is what's been going on forever.
Now that I was with you, but now that I think about it, if I'm getting ready to hire you as a head coach, I think I want to interview you right now to see how your stress level is.
Did you hear?
Maybe.
You know what I mean? To see if
Maybe,
you could,
but like,
yeah.
It cuts both ways.
Yeah.
I want the Rams assistant coaches to put their best foot forward and have the time and bandwidth to make an impression and go get those head coaching opportunities.
3 coaches that are up for, like, that's insane. That's more coaches. Imagine, again, good luck to all of those guys. Imagine if all 3 get head coaching jobs. You're going to have a whole new staff, right? You're going to again.
Yeah.
And so I understand that's a lot. It is a good thing, but it does take away from everyone putting, and I think that's more on the head coach, making sure that he has resources for his DC, his OC, and all the guys that are helping to empower other guys to help, right? Because that's what's going to have to happen. Because I can't tell you can't interview for this job. Like, I can't block you.
No, they're going to take it in stride. I have confidence in all those individuals, individually and collectively, to make the most out of this week. It bothers me that we're distracting from the playoff product with all these ancillary headlines and topics and pursuits when there's some real nice real estate in February and early March where we could be having a lot of these conversations.
Yeah, I just think you have to think of this too, right? Most of these teams are in the offseason, they're getting their draft board. Like, I heard James Gladstone talk about going to Jacksonville last year and how he prepared for the Rams draft board, and then how he gets his job and he has to flip over and learn his team. And so, yeah, this is part of the game, and I love this part of the game because I just hope we keep going, and you just have to keep waiting and prolonging until you get a head coaching job.
Dress warmly. How's the packing going?
So far, so good. If you come down to me and I'm not there, send the paramedics just to make sure. If you see, like, smoke, it may be down there with a campfire. Who knows? Yeah. But you know what? Forget about it. It's going to be cold. It is what it is. Let's go play football. Let's go.
Just like these
I have a
players and
thing.
coaches.
Can I run this by you?
Yeah.
Whatever McVay wears, I wear.
Yo, you're crazy.
I will not outdress the head coach. How about that?
You're crazy.
I mean, it took him until age 38
To put on a
before he
hat.
even put on a hat.
I know.
So.
I will not outdress the head coach. How about that?
How about Devontae Adams saying, "I've never worn sleeves in my career. I don't plan to this week."
He won't wear sleeves. I love that. I love that. I love the cold. I think I didn't wear sleeves in the cold, but I had everything else on. And that's what you're going to do. But to kind of send this off, I think this game is less to do. I said this in our text thread. Is less to do about the Bears, and it's always about the Rams. If you execute what you're doing, I don't think there's a team in the NFL that could beat them.
Yeah,
And that's how I truly believe that. If you're looking around, like, if they execute and do what they're supposed to do, like you said, no control the things you can control, catch the ball when you're open, no false starts, no pre-snap penalties, things like that. You'll just move up and down the field on any and everybody.
I feel the same way the players and coaches do. I want to be right back here next week working with you guys. For MJD and DeMarco Farr, I'm JB Long. Enjoy this weekend, everyone. The divisional round, the Rams and the Chicago Bears, Sub-Zero at Soldier Field. Thank you for being with us for another edition of Between the Horns, presented by your Southern California Toyota dealers.